If you're tuned into my channel for the first time, my name is Peace, and I remain your favorite sociologist. On this channel, I bring you frank talks about the society and you. And on this channel, I do positive vibes. Okay, we are on the family series, and today we'll be talking about communication and inclusion in the family. Alright, guys, so please remember to subscribe to my channel, like the video, and share so that it reaches a wider audience. Today, I want to talk about communication in the family. You see, um, sometimes we overlook this thing called communication in our various families. As small as it sounds, as trivial as it is actually very, very important, extremely important. Communication is the key. Communication is the bedrock of any and every relationship. Communication is everything in every relationship, whether family relationship, romantic relationship, business relationship, among friends, among siblings. Communication is actually everything, right? And we really don't understand how important communication is in the family. Communication between spouses, communication between the parents and the children, communication between the siblings themselves, right? So today I'll be talking about communication and the junior brother of communication, which is inclusion. Welcome, thanks for joining. And Roblox, let me increase the brightness of my screen a little because I can barely read. Oh yeah, that's okay. Okay. Roblox says, my sister, I find it very difficult to communicate with people. Enlighten me, please. All right, Roblox, just stay tuned to the channel. Thank you very much for joining. Kindly like this video, just to put out on your screen to like. So like I was saying, communication is the bedrock of everything we do in the society. Between siblings, between spouses, between parents and children. Communication goes a long way to strengthen unity and bond. Communication goes a long way to resolve conflicts. Communication goes a long way to foster an enabling environment for growth in the family. Now, I'm limiting this to the family, but communication at large is a general thing, right? But I'm trying to channel it to the family this time around. All right, guys. So, what exactly is communication within the family? Communication is the medium through which people or family members express their fears, express their needs, express their concerns, and express their worries to each other in the family. The means through which family members express their fears, their worries, their needs, their concerns, sometimes their aspirations, their dreams in the family. And why is communication very important in the family? Because it gives the other person in the family an opportunity to be heard. There are some families that just do seniority all the way down. In such families, you don't really have the opportunity to communicate as much as you would love to. There are some families that are also open to communication. If anything is happening within, around you, or with you that you feel you want to talk about, you are free and you have that platform, that free platform to talk about it. There are some families that are that open to communication. and there are some families that are not, that are close to communication, right? Now, in the family, I want to specifically talk about the family that lock out communication. There are some people, there are family, they are family members, but communication between and among them is very, very minimal. And that is why you have lots of frictions among them as family members. Firstly, the family is a place for love, for peace, for solace, for comfort, for support. And when you have all those things, naturally happiness will come in, joy will come in, growth will come into the family. But in a situation where your family, you have conflicts, before it even gets to the point of conflicts, someone would have been feeling aggrieved. Maybe something happened and the other one party in the family is feeling, oh, this issue wasn't properly addressed, right? And that person wasn't even given the opportunity to speak up for his or herself in the family. I'm talking about the family now, not outside. In the family, that will lead that person to having grievances or whatever in his or her mind, right? But, and which of course is not good, it's going to cause rifts, it's going to cause conflicts, sometimes even between the parents, the father and the mother. Lack of communication tears families apart very, very fast. Small thing that is not even supposed to be small thing that is not even supposed to be seen as anything, just because that matter or that topic was not properly trashed and communicated through. Sometimes it's not even a conflict, it's just it's just differing opinions. I believe in this and you believe in this, and if we don't sit down to talk about this thing together and come to a middle point and come to a meeting point, because truth of the matter is family has to do more with compromise. When you see a working family, when you see a thriving family, when you see a family that is full of love, peace, laughter, happiness, growth, most of them, most or everybody in that family are compromising one way or the other. It doesn't really have, like, in a family setting, it cannot be only my opinion that will stand, or only your opinion that will stand, or only this person or only that person's opinion that will stand. A family is a place of compromise, because you have to carry everybody along. You have to carry everybody along. You have to bring everybody together. And in an attempt to do this, there must be compromises that will be made. Now, back to this communication. You cannot reach a point of compromise in a family if there is no communication. Because this person airs his or her own opinion, this person airs his or her own opinion, and of course, maybe the elders of the family will sit down and look at it and talk about it, and we reach a compromise. And at the end of the day, everybody is happy. Communication is the bedrock of every family. Communication is the bedrock of every relationship. If a relationship must thrive, if a family must grow, communication has to be very, very strong. Minimal communication is not acceptable in a family, because it's going to leave people carrying things in their mind. It's going to leave people feeling unheard. It's going to leave people feeling excluded. It's going to leave people feeling unwelcomed, unaccepted, right? I'll give you people an instance. I have two daughters, right? The older one is more outspoken and outgoing and all of that, and the younger one is introverted, doesn't speak much, doesn't talk much, not really, not Not she just doesn't talk much. And I noticed, I just kept observing, and then I noticed that along the line as time goes on, the older one started feeling the younger one started feeling left out and excluded, to the point that anything goes for her, whether she likes it or not, whether it is okay with her or not. Anything you do, she will not complain, she will not say anything. And do you know that this thing, to a large extent, affected this child in school? Now, her going into her shell and not communicating started in the house. And it is affecting her in school. How is this lack of communication thing affecting her in school? Because she'll get to school, even among her peers and other children, she will not be able to communicate. She will just stay put. Other children will talk, other children will say this, do that, do that, do that, do that. And the truth of the matter is she's very, very intelligent, extremely intelligent. Other children will talk, she will not say anything. And of course, children now, when they notice stuff like that, they begin to bully you. So this child, I started trying to encourage her. When something happens, sometimes maybe she's struggling or they are dragging for something with her sister, I'll try to encourage her to speak up. Speak. Talk. If we are having a discussion, because I try to create an environment where we have communications, where we have discussions in the family, right? So if we're having a discussion, I'll tell her, talk. What do you think? She'll say, no. I say, you would talk. And gradually, she started building her confidence back and started feeling included in because of course, if I had said, oh, it's not in her nature to speak, so I just let her and just allow the conversation between me and the outspoken one, that is potentially going to shut her down, right? So I started encouraging her to speak. And gradually, I started seeing changes in her. A person that used to be extremely introverted all of a sudden is now speaking up very well for herself. So back to the school now. How was this thing affecting her? Her classmates were beginning to try to bully her in school. And she was feeling bullied until someone somehow dragged her sister's attention to it. So the sister would tell her, if somebody does this to you, say it like this. If somebody does this thing to you, do like this. So gradually, when she goes to school, she tries it. When she comes back home, she gives her sister the feedback. I didn't even know that was happening amongst them. I didn't know that was happening until one day we're having, of course, I always throw the platform open. I try to encourage them to speak. So we're having our normal family discussion and session like that, and they were talking, and I started hearing talks. So I started hearing talks, and the sister was like, "Mommy, do you know that this thing was happening in school, and Flourish was allowing her classmate to be jumping on her head?" I said, really? So when you heard of it, what did you do? She said, I told her that she should go back and do like this and do like that and do like that. And so I turned to her and I asked her, so why were you allowing your classmates do this? She's laughing. She's laughing. So I turned to her and I asked her, I said, so why were you allowing your classmates do this to you? She said, nothing, no. And I said, so how are you handling it now? She said, now that she doesn't keep quiet again, she tries to talk and she speaks up, and right now they all know their boundaries. Why am I even bringing this little example? The family is the first point of socialization anywhere in the world. Communication in the family goes a long way to determine how that child is going to fare in the society. And I want to encourage every one of us to build and create an atmosphere and a platform for communication. Communication is key to everything. Because if you fail to create an environment for communication in the family, the family members are going to seek help. The things that naturally should have been discussed and trashed in the family, they are going to go out to seek for help outside, seek for counsel outside. And it's going to, of course, the people outside, you don't know how they were raised. They have different opinions. They have different ideas. And if your family members are going to seek opinions from outside, you know that is already a minus for you, because it's like going to bring a different energy from outside right into the house, right? So it is always better that we try as much as possible, even in our most busiest schedule, to create time for communication. Growing up as a child, I remember having the experiences or situations where I would call. Sometimes I just want to have conversations. I just want to talk to my dad. And I try to put a call. He's a very, very busy man here. And I'll try to put a call and I'll just hear, I'll send you money. Money is not everything in a family. Communication expresses your love and your feelings much more than money does. Money cannot talk. Money cannot say I love you. Money cannot say I care about you, right? Flourish, take this thing. Money cannot say I care a lot about you. But communication, speaking with your mouth, will go a long way to build the bond between you and your family members. A family that lacks communication lacks bond. A family that lacks communication lacks togetherness. A family that lacks communication lacks unity. And that is why you're always going to see frictions, you're always going to see tussles, you're always going to see you're always going to see misunderstandings in some families. Because the basic and the most little thing as communication is missing in such families. Right? The basic and the most little thing and as common as communication is missing in the family. Now, communication will draw your children closer to you as a parent. Communication will draw your spouse closer to you as a spouse or as a partner in a relationship. Communication will make the family bond so much that little things will not easily break you people apart. And even the mighty, most difficult things will not even break you people apart. Because where there is communication, where there is a platform for communication, and people air their opinions, and understanding comes in, the family members will definitely come to a compromise. And the whole essence of having a united family is compromise. Everyone compromising on their parts, not trying to stand on their rights and insisting on their rights, is what makes a family thrive. But if you take out communication, if you take out the platform for communication, people begin to misunderstand other people's actions. One person may be doing something and the person actually thinks or feels that what he or she is doing is right. And another person, another sibling or another member of the family may be misunderstanding that this other person's actions or words. In such a situation, just a little communication would have solved or cleared whatever misunderstandings was in between or was going on in their minds, right? Because I'll use my elder sister as an example. Yeah, sometimes she may have an idea, or she may want to do something. Maybe the idea she thinks, or the idea she has in her mind, or the thing she has in her mind to do may not really be bad, right? But the way and manner in which she's going about this thing she has in mind may be sending a wrong signal. And in situations like that, the other person, the other party, will be receiving it in the negative light. If there was proper communication, certain misunderstandings would have been necessarily eliminated. Because, oh, this person will say, at the end of the day, this person will say, oh, this is what I was trying to do. I didn't mean to harm you. I didn't mean to hurt you. I was just trying to do this. And then this person will say, oh, that action that you did, or that thing you're trying to do, this is how I perceived it, or this is how I am perceiving it. It is either going down well with me, or it is not going down well with me. At the end of the day, the both parties come to a compromise, and there is that conflict or that misunderstanding would have been easily resolved. That is why it is very important to include the practice of communication in your families. If you have not been practicing it before now, you should try. And it's sometimes communication is difficult, but you can try. Communication sometimes is actually difficult, because some people see communication, or see trying to communicate with someone, or take it from the point of pride and ego. Now, let me tell you how pride and ego comes into communication. You want to do something just because you feel, oh, you're older than this person. You feel there is no need, or there is no point for you to communicate with this person about it. Right? But in the real sense, this other person is also human and deserves basic, simple explanations of certain things. But when pride and ego comes into communication that should naturally be seamless, you begin to have conflicts. This is where all those conflicts come in. This is where you have people taking decisions in families without carrying other people along. This is where you have people doing, just sitting down, standing up, probably maybe based on their position in the family, just take actions and ignore the other family members. This is where you see husbands taking actions, ignoring the wife and the children. This is where you see wives also trying to take actions, and before you know it, the whole family is a mess. So now I'll try to plead with us that in trying to communicate, we should try and keep aside our pride and ego, because pride and ego is actually one of the major bridges of communication. Pride and ego is one of the major bridges of communication. And once communication is breached, everything the family stands for is scattered. Everything the family stands for is scattered. So please, let's try to do away with pride and ego in our communication. And it is also pride and ego that would make one person or one member of the family try to communicate, and the other member of the family just shuts the person off or shuts the person out. And that brings me to my second topic, which is inclusion, because communication and inclusion goes hand in hand. It is one thing for you to have a platform where family members communicate, air out their problems, air out their pains, air out their needs, say the things that are bothering them, air out their love, their feelings, and everything. It is another thing for you to actually listen. It is another thing for you to actually listen. Someone can speak up, someone can complain, someone can say something. But are you listening to what they're saying? Are you taking actions concerning what they're saying? This is where inclusion comes in. Right? And this inclusion now is, in my opinion, I want to believe that this inclusion now rests on the shoulders of the elders in the family. Because if, let's say, in a family of maybe 10, you have hierarchies, you have siblings who, of course, are of different ages, and something is going on, and then the last born, the smallest person in the family, is complaining about something. It is the duty of the elders now, the elders in the family, to look at what the younger one is complaining about. So I know, of course, sometimes the younger siblings or younger people in the family may always want to be feeling overused and stuff like that. Yeah, because of course, as a last born, you go do some things. But that aside, sometimes, because our African family setting is a setting of respect and hierarchy. That is the kind of family setting we have in Africa, right? Where the respect flows from the top down. And by so doing, unknowingly, some families have excluded certain family members. Unknowingly. Why do I say unknowingly? Because they just feel, oh, this one's opinion is irrelevant. Probably maybe based on age, probably maybe based on the person's position in the family or something. But a thriving family is a family that carries everyone along. No member of the family is too big, and is too big to be heard, and no member of the family is too small to be heard. Everybody should be heard. Everybody should be carried along. If certain decisions are to be made, it is only fair and wise, right, that everybody's opinion is sought in the family. Sometimes when you do this open opinion thing, open sampling of opinion, it may not even be necessarily because you want to really put what they are saying or want to take their opinion, but just to make them feel included and carried along. Right? And to a large extent, it builds their confidence. It builds the confidence of the family members to a very, very large extent. It does. It gives them the confidence to speak up. It gives them the confidence to go out and be leaders. That is why when you go to school, you see certain behaviors from certain children. The next thing you hear is, check the parents. Or probably a child comes to school. I'm not a teacher though, but of course, as a societal person, I've mingled with so many schools and stuff like that. So I understand that there are certain attitudes, certain characters, certain behaviors that children come to school and exhibit unknowingly. Sometimes it may just be locking themselves up at one corner, coming to school and not wanting to associate with other people, coming to school and just People that handle children will really understand what I'm talking about. People that handle children will understand what I'm talking about. And you'll see these children from that tender age, they're already feeling excluded and left out. And you honestly don't know how much it hurts them as children. No, you don't know. Just that little, what do you think about this thing would lift your child's spirit so much? So please, guys, when we create this platform, or we open up this platform for communication in our families, we should also open up the platform for inclusion. When someone or one of the members of the family airs their opinion, please listen to what they are saying. If necessary, take actions. So that at the end of the day, one member of the family will not be feeling left out. One member of the family will not be feeling unheard. It's very, very important. Very, very important. And it's very, very common in our African setting. Very, very common. If I want to do a survey right now and I say, okay, let me go into families and begin to have discussions, you would see that we have so many people in the society right now who within their family circles felt left out. Felt they were not included, they were not carried along in the family. That way you've already created friction. The person may not speak up, the person may not complain, right? But there is already a friction in the family, which the family does not need at all. All right, guys, let me take a few comments before I go back. Okay, so Roblox says, my sister, I find it very difficult to communicate with people. Enlighten me, please. All right, Roblox, if you're finding it very difficult to communicate with people, it will not be something that is just starting now. It's probably something you you carried from childhood, and of course from your family into adulthood and the society, right? So in my opinion, I'd advise you to start. It's communication in itself is not very easy, because you have to be very comfortable with someone to even be able to communicate with them, right? So look for the people around you that you are very comfortable with. And of course, I also understand that communication can also make you feel vulnerable. Yes, I know people who try to shy away from communication because they don't want to feel vulnerable at all. I know people like that, especially in our male counterparts, right? But look for someone who you are quite close to and try to bring up little discussions. Try to say little things about you, about your experiences. And before you know it, 1 month, 2 months, you are beginning to communicate gradually. Your communication will increase. Communication is not something you can just sleep and wake up and begin to communicate. No. Communication in itself is not easy. So it is something that's it's a process. You're going to start from A and gradually grow to Z. Right? And sometimes the level of communication depends on the receptiveness of the person you're communicating with. There are people that try to communicate and they just shut them out. That's where the other person is discouraged to even try communicating again. Right? So Rumblex, this is for you. You try gradually. You start gradually. Sky Potter, very well said, my sister. Assalamu alaikum. Walaikum assalam. Thanks for joining. Um, Walking Tall. Good morning, sophisticated lady. Thank you, good Walking Tall. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining. Um, Bob Joe, what's your religion, ma'am? I'm a Christian. Anuolua say, happy Sunday. Thanks for joining, Anuolua. Happy Sunday. How you doing? Um, Bad Leroy says, let me guess, Nigeria. Yes, I am from Nigeria and I am in Nigeria. Please, guys, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, yeah? Okay. Umesh Bajat Vani. Hello, hello. Um, Gamingoft. Gamingofts. Hey, Gamingofts. Thanks for joining. You are so beautiful. Thank you. Watching from the United States. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, Gamingofts. Now I am worried. Okay, I think I need to make a video because I'm actually very worried with this birthright thing in the United States right now. I'm worried. Pama says hello, hi Pama, thanks for joining. Ahmed Belton says you should be mine. Okay, Ahmed, I've heard you. So Christ ambassador, hi, what is functionalism in the family? Okay, I'll answer that question in another video. What is functionalism in the family? Let me jot it down. Christ ambassador, what is functionalism? Captain Legless says speaking with my mouth gets me in trouble. Now, Captain Legless, how does speaking with your mouth get you in trouble? What do you say, and how do you say the things you say? Because this is actually an example I gave of of my elder sister, right? Sometimes you may have an idea and you may be saying something right, but how are you saying this thing you are saying? How are you doing this thing you're doing? That is another thing. What you're saying or what you're trying to do within the family may be right, but how are you saying it and how are you doing it? This is where communication comes in, right? You have to be sensitive. You have to be sensitive to your other family members. You don't just, if you're if you're a man or the head of the house or something, you don't just go around trying to impose certain decisions and stuff. Like communication, these are like, sometimes we have good ideas, we have good motives, but we just pass these things across the wrong way, and these things create friction and animosity in the family, right? Which is not good. Communication and these frictions would have been avoidable with just a very little communication. But sometimes some people are not ready to be humble enough to communicate. And that is where I spoke about pride and ego in communication. In communication, there is no superior and there is no inferior. You just have to be willing to communicate. So Captain Legless, I don't know why speaking with your mouth gets you in trouble, please. Can you explain? Sam Lux Soap. Ahmed Belton says no, but it shows it better than words. Me paying your sweetheart says I love you. Okay, now I'm sure this person was talking about is responding to the place where I said money does not speak. And I gave you an example. There was a time in my life where I'll try to call my dad Yes, I know my dad is a very busy person, right? And I try to call, and all I just want to hear is just sweet words and I love you. Just sweet words. How are you doing? Have you eaten? Did you go to school? Didn't you go to school? Did your teacher say anything? Didn't your teacher say anything? Just like the things you actually consider very trivial mean a lot to your family members. And that is where care comes in, right? That is where care comes in. And the response I'll just get is, I'll send you, hello, I'll send you money later. At that point, I was not looking for money. I just needed that bond that communication brings. So this is for Ahmed Belton. Money is not everything. Communication sometimes can get you the things that money cannot get you. And that is the fact of life. Simple communication sometimes can strengthen the bond, can give you bond that money can never give you. Okay, Marco Souza says, hey, my friend, God bless you. I am from the United States, Texas. Hi, Marco. Thanks for joining. Kindly subscribe to my channel. V Reality says, V, why are you saying, Terry, now I don't even understand what you're talking about. What's possible here? Who are you? Okay, Gamebread says, who are you? Okay, my name is Peace and I am a favorite sociologist on YouTube. Gamebread says, do you think you are famous? Gamebread, I don't have to be famous to speak. I don't have to be famous to do the things I need to do. I don't have to be famous to talk about certain topics, right? No, that is a wrong way to think about it, and that is a wrong way. That is actually a wrong mentality to have in the society. You don't have to be famous to create an impact. Okay, be realistic, saying, Terry, I wonder. Terry is saying, I can't understand her through that dirty accent. Oh, Terry, you now I'm seeing you're a very pathetic person. Sorry, oh. You're quite pathetic. Very, very pathetic. You have a problem with the way I'm speaking, go and hug your transformer. Are you left-handed? No, I'm not left-handed. Okay, beloved from Camden, New Jersey here. Thanks for joining, beloved. Kindly subscribe to my channel. Bequara Face Lady, hello. Thanks for joining me. Good morning. I'm getting ready for church. All right. Thanks for joining me. See you later. I love your lips. Thank you. There says, who cares? I don't. Do I look like I care? Blah blah blah. Who cares? Good morning. Blah blah blah. Good morning. There, hey. Why are you this toxic? It's a pity that some people can actually be this way. Theodelicious, hi peace, I'm watching from Australia. Hi Theodelicious, thanks for joining. Kindly subscribe. S SM Fetz says there is always a superior and inferior during communication. The superior is the person with the most power. You can complain all day, but if you have no power or influence, nothing will change. Okay, um, S SM30. Now, do we have superiors and inferiors in a family? Do you think it is proper to have superiors and inferiors in a family, a place that is supposed to be a place of love, a place of unity, a place of support? We don't have superiors and inferiors in a family because every family member um, are, are equal. Every family member are supposed to be carried along, whether old or young, right? Whether fat or thin, white or black, every family member is supposed to be carried along, is supposed to be included. And this is where we get it wrong. When you begin to do superior and inferior in the family, you've already destroyed whatever it is the family stands for. You've already destroyed whatever it is the family stands for, which is not supposed to be. We don't have superior and inferior in the family. Even at workplace, we don't even have superior and inferior. At one workplace, we have, at workplace or even in the military or whatever, you have superior and junior. You have senior and junior. You don't have superior and inferior. No, we don't have superior and inferior in the family. He says the parents is the superior, the breadwinner is the superior. That is actually the wrong way to go about it, because in my own opinion, if you ask me, part-time, right, life changes part-time. The man may be the breadwinner today and something may happen, the woman becomes the breadwinner tomorrow. The family works together hand in hand to support each other, to grow together. That is the whole essence of the family, togetherness. Once you begin to say, oh, I bring in the most money, so I'm the superior, you are getting it wrong. Once you begin to say, I am the breadwinner, so I am the superior, and so I have to force down certain decisions and certain opinions down the throat of other people, you are getting it wrong, because the family will not work. You're going to begin to have conflicts. Firstly, among you and your spouse, or between you and your spouse, and then you are going to push it down to the little children that are coming up in the family, and you are going to extend it to other family members. So we don't have superiors and inferiors in the family. No, that is the wrong way to see the family. He says, your idea sounds great in theory, but not reality. The child cannot tell the parent what to do. No, the child cannot tell the parent what to do. But the parents can give the child the platform to air their opinion. The child cannot tell the parents what to do, but the parents can give the child the platform to air their opinion. And of course, for every opinion the child airs, and the parents is turning down that opinion, the parents will explain to the child. I do it for my children. If they are trying to tell me about something, if they have an opinion about something, and I am going to take a different opinion or a different stand on that matter, I explain to them why I am taking that stand, so that they don't feel shut out. They don't feel like, oh, I was trying to talk to mommy and she just shut me out. No. If they say, oh, I want to do this, and I say, no, you're not going to do this, I take out my time to explain to them why I said they are not going to do this. And I make sure they understand. Okay, so Cloud Joseph is saying the man is the head of the household. Yes, the man is the head of the household, no doubt. No doubt, no dispute about the man being the head of the household. But because the man is the head of the household, should he not give the other members of his family listening ear? Shouldn't he create a platform for the other members of his family to be happy to communicate with him and air their opinion? Eh? Shouldn't he? Because a man in his home that is easily accessible by his family members is a happy man. Because you can be sure that when they have anything bothering them, they would always be very happy to run to the man as the head, to tell him how they feel about certain things, from the wife down to the smallest of the child or the smallest of the children. Right? So, Michael Stedman is saying the male lion is meant to be superior, but when he's done wrong, all the females attack and run. Exactly. Oh, Michael, you really you really understand me. Thank you, Michael. Thank you. Michael Stedman is saying equal love. Yeah, equal love. Claude Joseph saying, however a woman would get annoyed taking care of a man. That is not true. That is not true, Claude Joseph. Why would a woman get annoyed taking care of a man that once used to stand by her and do everything for her? Why? I honestly don't agree with that. Because I've seen men actually feel that in a situation, or if things happen and they no longer have the financial power they used to have, women will not stand by them. But that is actually the very wrong way to look at women in the society. I've seen lots of women who have shouldered the responsibility of their families happily and lovingly. I've seen such women. Not one, not two, not 10, not 20. I've seen lots of such women. And they are very, very happy to do it. Especially when they remember, oh, when this man used to have, he used to treat me like this, he used to do this to me. They just shoulder that responsibility and the family moves on. Because like I said earlier, the family is a place of compromise. The family is a place of unity. And when you have unity, when one hand is weak, when one person is weak, the rest of the family members put their hands and support that person to stand. That is the whole idea of the family. Michael Stedman is saying balance is right. Oh, thank you, Michael. Claude Joseph said, happy husband, happy. Yes, so happy husband, happy family. Michael, are you married? No, Michael, I'm not married. Okay, SM Fetty is saying, in my opinion, rules come first. Most communication is due to not following rules. Okay. Yes, of course, there are rules, certain rules in a family, right? But there are times that things happen in the family, even with the rules, that you still need to communicate. There are times that things happen within the family, even with the rules that have been set, that you still need to communicate. Which is true. Which is very, very true. So even with the rules in the family, you still need to communicate. SMT says sometimes the rules are not fair, but the superior doesn't care. Doesn't care what to do then? Are you a military man? Even military men are very loving. SM Fetty. Okay, SM30 is saying sometimes the rules are not fair, but the superior doesn't care what to do then. All right. The rules in the family are supposed to be fair. When you set rules that are not fair, you are already causing friction and misunderstandings in the family. The rules in the family are supposed to be fair. Yes, the rules in the family are supposed to be fair. Very, very fair. Even for something as much as disciplining a child in the family. Sometimes you don't just discipline a child without letting them know what they've done wrong. I discipline my kids, and when I discipline them, sometimes I'll be disciplining them and I'll be talking to them. Do you know why I'm doing this to you? Do you know why I'm disciplining you? Sometimes they will say yes, sometimes they will say no. I'll say, this is because you did this. This is because you did this. And I'm disciplining you because I don't want you to do it again next time. And I'm disciplining you because I don't want you to do it again next time. So the rules in the family should be very, very fair. It should be fair. Even up to the point of discipline, it should be fair. Um, Michael Stedman is saying, marry me. All right, Michael, we are married already. uh, Michael Stedman is saying the rules do go right. Yeah. And then he's replying to SM30 saying if the rules are not fair, what to do? Michael is saying things break down if the rules are not. Hey, Michael. Michael, yeah, that is it. That is it. When the rules are not fair, things break down in the family. And when things break down, it will only take the grace of God for you to be able to set things right again. So it's better to do things carefully. Things that just a very little communication would have settled. Okay. Maggie Rejoice, happy Sunday, Sister Peace. Sending love all the way from Namibia. Thank you very much. I love you too. Thanks for joining. Michael Stedman says, you love something, keep the balance. Oh, yes, so that is just the truth. Michael Stedman, oh, you're from the UK. All right. Thank you for joining. Please kindly subscribe. All right, guys. So, like I said, to have a thriving family, to have a family where that's love, that's unity, that's support, that's bond, that's growth, that comfort, that solace, that peace that is expected in a family is thriving. We need to be able to communicate. We need to be able to communicate. If you haven't been communicating in your families, please, please, and please start making efforts to communicate now. And in the process of communication, please remove pride. Please remove ego so that you can communicate properly. I'll give you an example of communication with pride and ego. You want to discuss, maybe you're a husband, you want to discuss with your wife. You have an idea or you have something you want to introduce to the family. And you just say, tomorrow morning we are going to start doing this in this family. That is not the right way to actually communicate. No, that is not the right way to communicate. Because that is you trying to impose a decision you have already made on the family. Please, if your family must thrive, if your family must experience peace and happiness, if your family must experience love, bond, unity, growth, please, let's try as much as possible to communicate. It will go a long way to cement and flush out all the frictions, all the misunderstandings, all the unnecessary conflicts that would have risen up in the future in the family. Please, guys, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for staying with me this long. I really do appreciate all of you. All right, drop your comments and opinion in the comment section. Thank you very much. I love you guys. Bye. See you in my next live session. Okay. Let me take a few comments before I go. Michael Stedman is saying you look great and have a nice way of speaking. Thank you, Michael. Thank you. I really enjoyed your contributions today. Michael Knight say what we're talking about. Canary King, Pisa Kanem, I found you today. Please don't go yet. The man is the head, but he still has to respect his family. Yes, yes, we already discussed all of this. Michael Knight, you probably need to rewatch the whole live session. Kuya Dana Magai. Thanks, Peace from Sierra Leone. Thank you all for joining. I really appreciate you staying with me. I love you guys so much. Please don't forget to communicate. Communicate, communicate, communicate. Communication is the bedrock of all relationships. With proper communication, with good communication, the love will thrive, the bond will grow, the unity will be strong, and things will blossom. Bye. See you guys.